So yeah, here I am, halfway through the March episodes, and well, I've got about 20 pages of notes taken across those episodes. So yeah, the review arduous nature of my assignment has revealed itself to be completely and totally arduous, if not redundant. But I did not want to create this level of inspection of my own work, especially my own work of the most recent variety. But I do think that going through what is essentially January, February, March, April, and now May events gives me the perspective on 2023 that I deserve, which is a very real perspective on what I've both accomplished and not accomplished, with the not accomplished bucket being fairly much, would that be full or empty? Which one would apply? I've done nothing. Well, it's not that I've done nothing, and I'm never that down on myself, but of the things that I set out to accomplish in 2023, well, I really haven't been able to say that I've started those initiatives at all. So, I think May is the month that both of those actually begin in earnest. However, having said things quite a bit without following through, who knows? Pause. Woo! Alright, but that's not even really what I was going to get through. Although, at this point, I'm about 8 episodes from the 300 episode. Actually, I'm not. I'm only 6 episodes away from that one. Which is where I take mushrooms and watch the movie 300. Which, if we can be honest, is the lowest point of the entire recording history of all. So it can win all of the awards for shittiest recording. But, having gone through now the first, I guess, 29 episodes in detail, I have a lot of things here. And maybe the way to go about this now is to say that's enough review of what I've recently said. Here are some of the things that make listening to me listenable. And just leave it at that so I can move on to something in the next round that's a little more on point for what I'm trying to do here in 2023. Well, let me go make a rice and beans burrito and think about that. Okay. Well, I've done it again. I've painted myself into a hole where I have to listen to every single episode in granular form because I've given myself the top 9 lists to look for that include things like things I shouldn't have said. Well, that's a tough category. I mean, should I have said all that dumb shit about my dog and my cat? Probably not. But that's just sort of thematic. Because those are some of my unfunniest moments. So finding funny moments, yeah, that's tough too. I mean, I do think it's clever when I made the joke about Lily and I fighting over space in a tent after she burned my house down. But if you don't understand that that's where I went with the joke, then that just seems like a connection that doesn't get drawn. So is that an unlistenable moment or the funniest moment? See what I'm going for? And especially me. Analyzing me in a subjective list about me? This could take a month and a half. And we certainly don't have time for that. So, I thought maybe I'd come in here and bitch a little bit like those reality shows where they have the private booth in case you have to say something that's so private you can only say it to the fucking populace of America and not to the 9 people you're living with. Yeah, that booth. Well, since my life is basically living in that booth, I don't really think this is a justified break, so I must just be trying to avoid the yard work that's out there while it's not raining. And it hasn't been raining for 24 hours. The forecast of another day of rain? No, we only got 72 hours. We didn't get 96. So thanks, God. Thanks so much for looking down on us and giving us some dry land so that we can walk around and get really muddy on it. But it does make pulling roots a lot easier for weeds. I think that's what I'm doing out there. If I'm pulling up dandelions, I'm weeding, perhaps. I do not know. but I'm getting dandelions into a bucket. And frankly, after doing that for an hour and a half, I'm tired of doing it, and I probably have another hour and a half of it to do, so I came in here to bitch about life. Well, not really. If this day is anything, it feels like a return to square one. I really am looking forward to the challenge that going on stage and trying stand-up comedy represents. I've always felt this way. I've just never been able to believe that I had the balls to walk on stage. And I now believe I have the balls. So I am going to put myself in a position to fail. And this is the hurdle that is the big one for me to cross. Because I don't like failing. And since most of my life I've been able to go directions where I knew I had a high probability of success and follow that channel of life challenge or lack therein. Well, having opened myself up to some challenges recently, what does it matter if I go on stage and I'm not funny? I mean, it doesn't. It makes zero difference in how my life can work out. Now, if I go on stage and I'm funny, I think I've almost worried about this more. And I will say, when I think back on therapy, and yeah, of course I've been in therapy, but when I think back on therapy, of a variety of kinds, I've had 4 different therapists across time, including rehab, which I count as therapy. Because this little gem's coming from the rehab therapist, who I think back on more than any of the other involved professionals in my life. This woman had some things to say that stuck with me. This is one of them. And that was that I not only lacked faith in myself, which was true, but I had a huge fear of success, which I think is also true. And it's a weird thing to hear someone say about you, because you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've always been rather successful, so I disagree. However, it's something you really care about. If I succeed here, it would engulf my life. To the point, I think, until I had gotten through my drug phase, it would have killed me. So, I don't know that I shouldn't have been waiting to be balanced enough to accept the possibility that I might succeed without destroying my life. So, ever since she said that, well, this little puzzle has made more sense. So, as I was thinking about that today, I thought to myself, I mean, the one thing I've always wanted to do is just travel the world indulgently, as if I had a credit card with unlimited funds. So even if you were to succeed, well, you always have the chance to just quit. Like, why not spend 5 years making as much money as you can, and then however much money you got in that bank, that's how much you use to travel the world until you're broke. I don't know. Well, these are the silly thoughts that consume me as I'm doing yard work. Why they're making me cry, hard to say. But there's 7 minutes of making this episode even longer. I wonder if, instead of doing it this way, if I should just record my angst as I try to get this thing done, and then use the first episode of the next set of 53 to go through what I consider to be the best and worst of this run of 53. Well, given that I've spent now 7.5 minutes wasting time, I think I'm getting my answer in real time. Brute? Wait, is that the quote from Shakespeare? Oh, fuck, I don't care anymore. Stop. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Anytime you put expectations around a process that give it, in what I consider limitations to emerge in its most glorious incarnation. In other words, if you tell me how to do something, well, yeah, I can do it that way. But what if in doing the thing, I come up with a better way to have done it all along? And because you told me how to do it, instead of just telling me to do something, you told me how to do it. Well, now we end up with your version of it, which is limited. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons that I don't put limits on anything that I do here, or have expectations of anything. I figure the freer my thought pattern is to reveal itself in its winding, circuitous nature of misunderstanding my own train of thought, destination, and never arriving. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's part of what putting limits on me will guarantee, that you won't see where that might wind into and up to and over the bend and through whatever it may become. Because we're going to do it this way, so keep at it. Well, that's kind of what this task seems to have turned itself into. I've become my own taskmaster in a world in which I swore that's the last thing I would ever allow myself to become, and yet here I am railing myself in. Did I just misuse the word railing? Oh, let me add that to my list. No, I didn't come here to create instances that could qualify for my tournament categories. No. Or did I? Maybe. Was there a subconscious thoughts category? No. I mean, listen, it's with full understanding that one of these categories is won already. And I know what it should be won by. Which one is this? It's, well, okay, thought derailments. I was originally going to try to review the entire first season's episodes, because year over year, I could just listen to the one from last year on the date that it was, yada yada. Well, that didn't last, but what am I on, episode 278 or 279, something like that right now? So I didn't make it 15 episodes before that idea had to be canned. So the number one thought derailment is that I quit reviewing season 1. There's no other thought derailment that can supersede that, because I got on in this session to say I would do that, and then I never did it. So that's already been won. Now I just have to come up with what other thought derailments happened in episodic form. But if you don't get the entire point of your season, the one fundamental review thought you had going in completed, well, that's your number one thought derailment. Or that's the one thing you shouldn't have said. See what I mean? Even the categories don't make sense because they overlap too much. So, yeah, that's my current bitch about what's going on. And then you take, like, if I'm going to go back and categorize, where do you put the statement, well, yeah, I know where to put that statement. But we're all here to do what we're all here to do. Is that a revisitable thought that I just let that drop in the middle of a conversation about other points? It's the hardest thing in my life to have come to terms with, personally. So to casually throw that into a moniker sort of bumper sticker moment as if that sums up anything or even can clarify anything without really looking into what it means to ask yourself, what are you here to do? And how are you going to achieve that? That's a huge question to feel like you've even found texture in, let alone possibly solved. So we're all here to do what we're all here to do. Yeah. How do you come to terms with that? Well, you spend 50 years of angst, winding yourself into places that, as the kinetic energy of the universe balance you out, send you across the map like the Tasmanian devil until you finally realize that maybe twisting yourself into all these pretzel knots was the problem in the first place. Maybe staying balanced and giving the world what you're actually capable of giving it, instead of demanding things of yourself that you know sooner or later you just don't have enough energy to fulfill. Well, maybe your life will get easier. Maybe you'll stop having disruptive moments, and maybe the universe will start sending you signals that this is the way it should have been the whole time. But, or maybe you should just pause. All right, well, I thought I heard the rain start up. I ran outside to say, oh yeah, sweet, it's raining, I can't do any yard work. But it is not raining. But it looks like it could start raining any second. So now my dilemma is, do I go down to the tennis courts and hit against the wall or get some service practice in, or, God forbid, ride my bike all the way back home because it's Saturday and it's dry, and so every person who has a tennis racket is currently trying to get on the courts? That could be the situation. But that would send me home thinking, that's the last time I go down there on a Saturday. Or I could go down there and find a situation where I could fulfill some personal practice time. Or I could call my dad, we could get in the queue, and we could play some tennis. Or I could go do some more yard work, or it could start raining. See what I'm saying? Trials and tribulations. We all got them, just different levels of severity. Pause. Okay, hello universe. It is 11:59. Nope, now it's noon. It's 12 noon. Here on the 16th of May. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of May. And I have spent, well, I've got lots of sheets of little detective notebook paper of everything I gleaned from season 6. Well, and I didn't listen to the last 7 episodes because, frankly, I feel like those were all just lists of 9 anyway. And if I hadn't said it in the episodes preceding that, well, I don't know how important it could possibly be. So, do I think I'm high enough for this? Maybe not. Pause. Pause. Okay. Well, I might be high enough now. But we can always attend to that mid-session. Right, Kitty? Right. All right. So I'm not even going to pull these out in any specific order. I'm just going to go through them all. And I will say this should probably be the longest episode of all time because, holy shit, I guess I thought I had some things to say. Let's start with this sheet. What do you think, dude? My dreams make me do stuff. Okay. Yeah, I live in a prolific world of dream realization. Both dream deja vu, lucid dreaming. I've even had 2 instances of premonition dreams where I dream of somebody who then shows up in my reality. So I listen to my dreams. I allow my dreams to guide me as much as I allow anything to show me wisdom. My dreams have shown me wisdom. So my dreams make me do stuff. That's a very true statement. Now, if we're going to get back to the original thought here I had when I was blowing off this project because I thought it was too much work, then I thought I'd make, well, let's just make it 10 times more work and see if that's even better. I was going to have my top 9 word misuses, thought derailments, weed smoked, unlistenable moments, things I shouldn't have said, breakdowns emotionally, listenable moments, revisit me moments, and funny-ass shit moments. Well, I do have some of those categories, but I don't have them all, and I don't think forcing what happened last season into all those categories makes any sense. So again, I'm going to go through these and just try to enunciate as clearly as I can why I think they have value. But my dreams make me do stuff is something I will revisit again and again and again, and have revisited many times already. So I don't know if I can revisit it many times already. I believe that means I've visited it many times already, but my disconnects haven't been solved. I can just leave that statement right like that. I don't know if I solved any disconnects this season, but I don't feel like I did. Did I create any more? Yeah, one. But whatever. I hope now you remain in that. Oh man, I tried to write these so I could read them. I hope now you remain in that bubble knowingly. Oh, okay. So if you live in a bubble of not coming to realize all the disconnects that now exist in our reality, well, all I hope is that you live in that bubble knowingly. Because if not, well, then you're living in a bubble of ignorance, which is your problem to burst out of. And if you think everything that's going along in the world right now is going along swimmingly, I bet that's the bubble you still have to burst out of. I've had zero sense of what I'm supposed to be doing until 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 might be too tight. Maybe it's 4 or 5, but it's recent. And so little purpose and destiny did I feel up until that point that I really questioned the lunacy, or I guess I questioned the sanity of those who claim to have some sense of purpose and destiny. But now that I have a sense of purpose and destiny, well, why it took until the last 2, 3, 4, 5, however few years you want to corral it into, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't listening. Maybe I was the biggest knucklehead in the universe, and maybe I had the most to learn to get to a point where I could understand what destiny felt like. Or maybe my life was on pause for 40 years so I could be elsewhere doing something for another planet, and then I came back here. So really I've only been fully embodied in this reality for 4 or 5 years. Right, Fly? Could be. Now I'm crescendoing in purpose and destiny. Yes. I do feel like I am hitting a crest of the wave sort of phenomenon. My foundation survived test after test. My foundation has survived test after test. Recent foundation. The new foundation that I'm building upon truth and honor and being a kind, loving, and understanding person to the universe as much as possible. Well, that foundation has survived test after test and has been tested in 2023 and has survived. I can't imagine anything coming to test it that would not A, it pass, and B, it thrive as a result therein. So, that does feel good. Right, babe? Alright, you know what doesn't feel good, though? When you assign yourself the kind of project that is listening to yourself. I have basically been listening to myself since Thursday, which means I haven't been playing any music, I haven't looked at any news, I haven't done anything except listen to myself. And if ever I was in the mindset to tell you why you shouldn't be listening to me, well, yeah. We're all here conditioned to think you don't deserve it. Yeah. Why are we all in such a big pile of, well, I don't deserve this, or that's for other people, or I didn't do enough of this, and this to deserve that? Well, see, I think we deserve everything. I think we deserve the richest, most fulfilling, rewarding life possible at all times. I don't feel like there should be a pause button and earn it because you're here. I do believe in contributing to society's goods at large, and whatever the good of society is that needs me to contribute, I do believe I have an obligation therein. But so far I haven't seen that in this society. I've seen a lot of taking, a lot of creating, and a lot of bullshit, of which I feel we are conditioned to think that we don't deserve the best, because the world is full of all of those other things. Well, let me pause and smoke a little weed and think about that. Okay. Still, we're all conditioned to think that we don't deserve it. Even after that bong hit, I still feel the same way. Well, I feel the same way after this sip of Sandia sweet watermelon soda. Yep, I do. Things you have to endure to listen to me. Coughing. Okay, well, coincidence, thy name has revealed itself once again, unlike irony, who doesn't show up very often. But, yeah, you might endure some bodily functions, some swearing, some nauseating topic material. You never know. So, because this has no purpose other than to reinforce my insane/sane razor-edge dilemma of dialogue, well, carry on with thyself. I find language powerful. Yes, I do. I find language to be the construct with which reality is formed, at least the social reality in which we all share the common square. So yeah, language is powerful. And I respect language therein. I will not use certain words. I will pause to speak to find the right words on several occasions. I find what we say to mean something. So, there's nothing you can't conquer if you love yourself. Now there's a bumper sticker worth per dig. I believe that. I didn't know that until about 5 years ago, because I was off fighting a war on another planet. I don't know why all this is happening to me. I do not know why all this is happening to me. I don't. Oh, I'm having such weird spiritual epiphanies here late in life. You'd think that this was something I had pursued or, I don't know, had envisioned, had ever even aspired to believe was possible. I've lived a very analytical and rational life. It has led me to a very distraught and disjointed place. But the idea that maybe, for once, I have figured out some of what life's really about, well, yeah, that seems to be what's happening to me, and I do not know why that's happening to me. Humanity ascends collectively and fractures individually. Well, that's one of those I would put on the list of things to get back to. I said it rather off the cuff, but I do actually think that's a rather astute statement. And I'm not trying to ever absolve the individual of their responsibility in a collective environment in which there is no more individual thought or initiative. I don't see how we escape individual thought and initiative if we're going to ascend to the highest places we can get. But our collective support and the dynamic initiatives therein that create cooperative work across the spectrum are just as valuable, if not more so. So the individual spark creates the collective gas that ignites the communal fire that ascends to places we've never been before. Or something like that. It's all important. And none of it should be stifled. And right now, the individual thought is obviously being stifled. We think I'm not going to take room in a room. That, yeah. That amazes me. Think, no, I'm not going to take me at room? That's definitely room. Okay, next one. It has to do with my reality discontinuing in front of me. Oh, disintegrating in front of me. Hang on, maybe I need some light. It's getting a little dark in here. That, what do you think that says? Makes me think, no, I'm not going to take it at room. At roof? Okay. It has to do with my reality disintegrating in front of me. Okay. My reality is disintegrating in front of me. What I used to be able to depend on is no longer valid. How I used to be able to interpret the world has become shakily disconcerting in certain pursuits of truths that once were easy to reveal, now I find elusive and perhaps not even there. So, yeah, when I chase down my reality right now, I don't always feel secure in the findings that I unearth. Am I alone? Is that me? I doubt it. Because what you tell me, I want to believe is true. I've never looked at another person thinking they are telling me false, or they are laden with innuendo that is... I've never believed that I was looking at somebody who was trying to do anything other than live in a peaceful, truthful, and revealed world. Now, the more you get to know somebody, the more they can show that they're not of that ilk, and so trust them you may not, but yeah, I'll never think that because you told me to think that. Oh yeah, I'll think that because you told me to think that. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll think that because you told me to think that. That comes after what you tell me I want to believe is true. And because I'm in a mindset to want to believe that what you tell me is true, because what you tell me may not be true, but I will think that because I want to believe that what you tell me is true, and all of a sudden I've got foundations of shaky sand that are not necessarily viable when gone to see just exactly what the real story is. Like when you start to consider the data that's necessary for the East African slave trade to really have existed. How do you get people from that part of the world to the new Americas on 75-day boat trips with food and water? How do you do it? Anyway, especially when you're holding them in chains and making them do all the work across the waters. How do they not revolt or just decide to die rather than follow your whips and chains? Well, if you think about it, if you think about it. So, anyway, that's the first page of notes, 15 minutes in, not counting the original 15 minutes I tacked onto this. So think how long this is going to take. Should I just go down and list everything of interest and leave it at that? Should that be the end of everything? Well, we'll pull this next one and see how it goes. Government by lottery would be better than what we got. Yep. Every citizen over a certain age is dumped into the pool, and all the government positions from Supreme Court Justice to law clerk to whatever, they're all filled by lottery. Close to home. Okay. Yep, I definitely call Peter Schilling's Major Tom, which is the song Coming Home, and call it Close to Home, whatever. I will make mistakes throughout. I apologize for the ones. I've apologized for that one in real time more than once, so here, this is the last time I'll apologize for that one. But yeah, there will be many moments like that. All right, here's another thought. When you give yourself labels, you give other people permission to call you that. Yes. Be careful how you label yourself, for if you do so, you will be instantly thought of as that and that alone. Do I think I'm listenable? Yeah. Do I think you should listen to me? No. Next thought. You are who you are, and if you try to force yourself to be something else, maybe you'll end up barfing on some guy. Yep. You can't deny that which you were put on planet Earth to emerge as. You will be the role you were put here to be, regardless of how you try to fill into another role or space or time or being. So if you're not listening to who you are inside and following those cues, they will force themselves upon you. Yep. No matter what kind of forcing you do, they will reveal themselves. If we aren't willing to bring back accountability, we're fucked. We're fucked in the face of something. Face of, I don't know. Well, we're fucked. Accountability is what we've lost, which is why I try to bring accountability to everything I do. This more than anything. You lose faith in what the universe means when you lose faith in what you mean. Yeah. So if you've lost faith in what you mean to this universe, well, again, look inside yourself. Decide what's the most common baseline element to who you are. For me, it's that I'm kind, I'm understanding, and I'm forgiving. In every circumstance, I am those things. Because I have an unlimited fountain of those things to offer, that is what the universe can ask of me at any time, and I can comply without static. We are set up to be a symbiotic relationship for those events. What are yours? Figure it out. Go offer that to the universe and let the universe comply by giving you something in which to fulfill that offer. Then you'll feel more like yourself. Okay. All right, what does that say? That says something and meaninglessness. Use is easy. You just have to hate yourself and then... okay. Having a meaningless life is easy. You just have to hate yourself and then there you go. Yeah. Pause. If you hate yourself, your life will be meaningless. Filled with meaninglessness. There will be a meaninglessness to your life that you can't escape because you hate yourself, which will put meaningless activity into your life. So don't hate yourself. Learn to love yourself. Forgive any kind of grudge you hold against yourself. And then get on with your life. Do something wonderful. Okay, that's another page. Let's keep going. This pace is better, right? The existential pickle they force me to eat. Yeah, one thing I like about watching a generation come up doing things differently is they do force you to eat a few existential pickles. Rightly so, in my opinion. They should be doing things differently, and they should be forcing you to look at the existence that you've created and whether or not you made all the right decisions along the way yourself. Having seen some of the work response that today's generation has compared to last generation's idea of how it is that you should work at a big box store, like barely doing enough to keep your job versus overworking the situation at all times so that the clock goes by. Hard to say which one's right, but they do make me think. At least they do force me to eat existential pickles. I think this is the longest I've been awake not on drugs. Yeah, sometimes I wonder why I say stuff like this. So, I guess it's because of the next point, my mind just won't shut up. That's for sure. Or the next point, I'm pretty good at giving myself, what? Oh, yeah, well, I am pretty good at giving myself a hand job, but most men are. I think I think one of the things I was trained as to do when to tick people... I think one of the things I was trained to do is to pick people apart instead of figure out what's great about them. Yeah. I don't know if this comes from like watching sports and saying, if he only had a left-handed dribble, well then he'd be unstoppable. I really don't know, like, why we're prone to see maybe what is the 5% somebody's missing instead of the 95% that they have. I don't know. But I've really been trying not to do that. And I think I've actually been succeeding at this. I'm not saying this is a hard transition to make. I think sometimes if you just realize that you're a pessimist, not an optimist, you can become an optimist immediately. This is one of those things. This isn't anything more interesting than how to repair a VCR. Yeah. So here's the reality check. If you're listening to this episode, well, what else are you doing? Seriously, what else are you doing? Are you grooming your dog? Are you cleaning your kitchen trash can? Are you repairing a VCR? I mean, what are you doing? Because you can't just be listening to this or you're wasting your fucking life. Honestly. All right, next thought. People are people the rest of their lives. And you can catch them at all kinds of times when going through all kinds of ups and downs. Yeah. I try to remind myself of this too. You never know when you're just catching people at a bad phase. It happens. Let people have bad phases. Just like you want the same slack in your life. You're learning to participate in this labeling of other people from a point of view that's not yours. Okay. You're learning to participate in the labeling of other people from a point of view that's not yours, right? Anytime you're listening to gossip or to reputation or to whatever about another person, instead of interacting with that other person, well, you're allowing yourself to succumb to a set of labels and descriptors that aren't yours. They're someone else's. How much of that do you want to participate in? Hopefully none. If you're willing to have a meaningful life with meaningful people and a meaningful moment, then people are out there that want the same thing, and those meaningful moments will find you. That is true. Part of believing that this universe is on your side is knowing that if you think that way, the universe actually is on your side and will reinforce that by being on your side. Next page. My sleep schedule's all fucked up. Boy, has that been true for 2023. Next thought. Are we making good decisions or something decisions? Or poor decisions right now? I don't think I'll ever get over my capacity to make poor decisions. All right. Yeah. I have a capacity to make poor decisions that's enormous. But I've been on a run of making good decisions. I even still feel okay about quitting my job, even though that's all a very big chasm of uncertainty. I don't really still know what all that was about, though I'm starting to put it together. But nonetheless, I'll never get over my poor decision-making capacity. Therefore, I'll always at some point in life make a poor decision or two, and thus have to always be okay unwinding my poor decisions into something better. That's okay. If those are the chains that I tie myself into, they're not all that hard to untie. Okay. If Lily's taking a pass, you can be damn sure... if Lily's taking a path, you can be damn sure a chainsaw and some gloves will be necessary. Yep. There are people, and I could be one of them, but there are people in life who make the journey that they're taking as difficult a journey as possible. Lily is one of them. And when I am one of them, I back up and try to ask myself, do I absolutely have to be out here with a chainsaw and gloves, or could I be taking a different path that would get to the same destination? Even if it's a longer path, can I take one that's not as thorny or circuitous and winding through as much overgrowth as this that I have to hack through before I can finally get through to the end? Sometimes the most direct path is not the way to go. Unlistenable. Break up with me? Oh yeah, that whole part about talking to my girlfriend because she's got a presentation the next morning. Oh my God. That part is unlistenable. So if we're adhering to some of the categories I started with, yes, unlistenable, that part. Okay, I don't mind being managed, but I do mind being micromanaged. Yeah, I'll just leave that at that. I'll bet I'd really like heroin. Well, I'll leave that at that. My truth meter, I explained my truth meter in detail back in one of the episodes. I'm not even sure which one. So I'm going to leave it alone here. But if you're looking for an explanation to that, that's in there. We're done in by I'm not worthy. Hey, I've already touched on that for the most part. Lily allowed me my system. Oh, Lily showed me that my systems were broken. That she did. I have worked back and built back some of those systems. I don't think they're nearly as broken as they used to be. I'm not trying to be abrasive. Nope, I never am. But I do hear myself being abrasive at times, so I know that that's not something I've eradicated from who I am. Unlistenable moment number 2. The cringiest part to conversation. Oh, the Craigslist piano conversation. Yes, that part was cringy. I'm not trying to advertise for an electric piano. No, I'm not. Okay, this turn of phrase equals intent. All right, turn of phrase equals intent. Yeah, I hate that the idea that language, once it's in the universe, has created intent. But I don't see how it can't. So, to me, yes, turn of phrase equals intent. What do you do with that? You eat it? You eat some yogurt? Oh, what do you do with that? You go eat some yogurt. I do find that sometimes undoing a certain circumstance is no more challenging than going and doing something different. So just go do something different. All right, and then a self-destructive analytical mind comes alive in these moments. Oh boy, I did say that. A self-destructive analytical mind. Is an analytical mind self-destructive by nature? Well, there's something I might want to think about later. I'll tell you what, I got to pause. We're 28 minutes into this. We have so much more to go. And that doesn't include the 15 minutes I tacked on at the front. So really, we're 45 minutes into this? This one could be 2 hours. Ugly. That's the end of season 53, though, right? Or season 53. End of season 6. Episode 53. Hello. Pause. And unpause. Pause. Unpause. All right, next page. All right, another unlistable moment. The moment I spend on hold with Home Depot. Can you believe that shit, man? Seriously. Revisit music defining who we are. I don't know if I need to revisit that. I visited that quite a bit, but I still think that's an interesting point of view. The arduous episodes that are seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, there are some hard to listen to moments in seasons 1 and 2. Which is why it took me about half of this season to realize I didn't want to go through all of season 1. But that's just my own quitting nature, so don't hold that against me. Just be deflated in myself like I was. Is there somebody in the pile they're trying to find? Is there? Could they be looking for somebody? I don't know. I still haven't lost the idea that that's possible, though that does sound like a Keanu Reeves movie. I'm going to... I promise. Yeah, I guess I have to take myself back on I'm going to, I promise, because I say I'm going to and I promise twice and do neither. So I'm trying to be more proud of my work, yeah. But I can't do what I say I'm going to do or what I promise I'm going to do, so... Plenty still to live up to and get better about, right, Phoebe? Just like everybody. We'll see you tomorrow around 9. Okay, well, that must be on there because I didn't make it. Yeah, I'm still got issues with timeliness, I'll admit it. That's for people under 45 or over 45, doesn't matter. There is a fine line of demarcation, I believe, that happens about the line of 40 right now between people who know shit and people who know different shit. But I'm capable of making something mistakes confidently. Use, of course, that's right, when it's wrong. I'm capable of making glaring mistakes confidently. Well, of course, that's right, when it's wrong. Yes, that's what that says. Yeah. And I believe this comes from trusting somebody who then tells you something that you don't go verify, that then you add to your lexicon of what I believe. In other words, your ability to appeal to and believe in authority without verification knows no bounds. You can't live in this society without having that be your number one idea of how you get your information. I don't care if it's going to see the same morning news source every morning. Sooner or later, you find a trustable news source that if they deliver you untrustworthy information, you won't know it. And you'll pass it along. You'll believe it. You'll pass it along. And I think that's the root of a lot of what the confusion is in our current society. So I do try to verify as much shit as I can. Get used to me making some, missing some, having arguments with some, kind of life like what? Okay. Get used to me making some, missing some, and just not being some, kind of like life. Okay? If you get used to that, then we'll be okay. I don't know what that says. I am always looking to know more. Yep. Curious to know more. That's what that says. I'm always fixing shit I fucked up. Yep. Those are just parts of life. I believe we're all Team Humanity and all unique. We're all prime numbers. Yes. And I do think that the idea that we're all prime numbers is important. You have to remember that you're not here to have someone else's experience, nor are they here to have yours. That's just the way it is. So, be a prime number and be excited that you are one. This isn't even what I want to be doing. Okay. Yeah, I said that at some point. The experience that we have sometimes puts us in a dilemma thinking, why am I going through this? What am I experiencing this for? Remember, you might have set yourself up to have this experience just so that you would be able to know what the flip side of being in this position is like. Don't think that everything you're going through isn't something that's of purpose. It is. Learn what you can while you're experiencing it, and then move on. I don't give a fuck what you think of me at all. Well, I want to believe that 99% of the time. I think I do believe that, but the 1% in which I do still give a fuck what other people think, well, you got to get rid of that. We're all prone to having some sloppy thoughts. Yeah, and that comes from that appeal to authority. It comes from our internal confirmation biases. It comes from all kinds of shit. Sloppy thinking is part of the human experience, so eradicate as much of your sloppy thinking as you can. Wash some dishes in my bathtub. Yep, and that's how I cut the fuck out of my leg. Ow. My value statement is my entire life. That's true. Really, I mean, I don't get to escape what I've done throughout life here. It's my entire life. It is the statement of value that I present to the universe, so it's all of it. I'm extremely plain with all of my talk. I try to be. That's not true because I do hear myself using stilted language, but still, I try to say what I mean and only what I mean. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm saying be true to yourself. Being selfish versus acting in your own self-interest are, I think, some overlap muddling that has been created to help us feel as though we are selfish, even though we are only acting in our own self-interest. I don't know. That's under my list of things I might want to revisit. So let's just say that I might revisit that. I got myself out of mess of self-loathing. Oh, I love myself out of a mess of self-loathing. That's true. That is also something I had under my things to revisit. As is, I don't have a lot of respect for intellectual property. Well, I don't know if I need to revisit this because I talk about this one all the time. I don't have a lot of respect for intellectual property because I don't think intellectual property is something that exists. I think we're all prone to having moments of intellectual inspiration. I think once we've inspired the intellectual zeitgeist with our inspirational thought, well, now it's part of everybody else's zeitgeist. The idea that I own an idea? Well, that's not very conceptual. E-sound. Cough joke. Okay. Now I'm going to blow my nose. Hang on. Okay. This podcast is about me and apparently once in a while about Joe Rogan. Yep. I think our value is collective. I get the individual has to do the work, but the value of ascension is always collective. Yep. I've already touched on that. I might be one on an island of 7.7 billion. I might be. I don't think I am. But there are times when I feel like that solution seems to be the only one that makes sense. If I want anything, I want solutions. Yep. If you hit a hole in one, it fucking will be. Okay, that's true. Sometimes, if you pick an obtuse pursuit like golf, well, it will offer you that 1 in a million chance that you hit a hole in one, and it's not 1 in a million, it's like 1 in 30,000, I know that. But whatever the odds are that you'll hit a hole in one, on that particular day you'll feel like everything that you were doing finally had purpose, but it's just because you hit a hole in one. So, yeah, if you go hit a hole in one, it always fucking will be. But you don't get to hit a hole in one every day, so you better find purpose that doesn't involve hitting holes in one. Whatever way I can offer you a win I want to hear about. Yep. Lines on maps matter to people other than me. Yep. Why point out what's working? Oh, why point out what's not working if you don't offer solutions? Yep. Take the extra step and try and solve it. Yep. When I have a conceptual concern, even I can be redundant. Yep. Oh, that says when I have a conceptual concept. Then even I can be redundant. That makes more sense. All right, let's pick another one out of the middle. If I were a map, you know where I'd be? All over the fucking place. Yep. I am literally all over the fucking place. That's just me. That's how I roll. No, that was not premeditated, just fucking horrible. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sometimes I say some stupid shit. So, I'm apologizing preemptively for most of those right there. I'm finding more and more people who grew up in a household where I love you was a rare, if not ever used term. Okay. Yeah. A lot of loveless households back there in the 70s, I guess. And the 60s. And the 50s. At 25, so fucking what? At 53, it breaks my heart. Yeah, you do change a lot between the ages of 25 and 53, there's no doubt. My tinnitus is piercing. Yep. 2023 has been the year of tinnitus. That it has been. Fucking tinnitus. Oh. I'm getting comfy because this is the long haul. Alright, once in a while I'm blown away by consciousness. Yes, that's true. I would love to find the perfect indica. Boy, would I ever. Alright, here's your pen back. Okay. Alright, that's a pretty fair little diatribe. Hey, stop it, kitty. That's a pretty fair little diatribe about being stoned. Is asking for a pen and then forgetting why it was so important that pen come through. Alright, here's your pen back. I'm really sad, but I don't know why. Yeah, I had some overwhelmingly sad moments, especially in February. And I don't know why. And I do think I now know that I was seeing the future. But whatever. I'll take clingy dudes over Dr. Dudes every time. Yep, I sure will. Guacamole insertion chips. Those would be good. Okay, and I did fuck up the time a lot in this season. Even my episode that's regarding time is a fuck up of the time. So, I don't know. I should stop worrying about time. Time and I don't get along, that's for sure. Putting yourself in situations where your reputations are often tarnished. Don't complain if your reputation gets tarnished. Okay, I agree. Stop that shit. Okay, that was a quick one. Obviously, let's get on to the next one. I need sleep, and I can't get it. I had quite a bit of insomnia in 2023 so far. That has not been a problem here with all the rainy weather. I guess that's one advantage to rainy weather. Get some sleep. I did. If I were a woman, I'd have learned to give A+ hand jobs. Like really good ones, 2-minute ones. Yeah, guys suck. They just do. I just want to show up to events and enjoy myself. Yeah, that's kind of true too. I do like to be on the periphery. I do like to observe. I do like to just respectfully come and go without any kind of incident or consequence. And so then I follow that up with, well, not involved is what you are. I guess I see that point of view. If you're not willing to get into the fray, if you're always only comfortable on the periphery, well, are you involved? Are you really? I suppose I'm about to, in some ways, test that little barometer. I was a good student to my own, or for once I was a good student to my own teachings. Yeah, I actually feel like I have been putting into action those things which I espouse will help you stay more balanced, and thus have been more balanced as a result. Does that sum up for once I was a good student to my own teachings? Maybe. I'm the worst lyrics listener of all time. Maybe. I think we can cross the maybe off of there and say that's no longer true, because all of a sudden I'm hearing lyrics with clarity that I've never heard before, and it's persisted across multiple songs. Too many songs to even name. As a matter of fact, if there's a song that I've listened to regularly, I probably misheard a lyric up until now that I have heard for the first time correctly in the last 10 to 15 months. It's crazy how much clarity I now have listening to songs that I never understood the lyrics to before. I don't know where this came from or why it's that way, but it's absolutely persisted and it won't go away. So, woohoo! I know this untapped resource is everybody else. Yeah, everybody else is definitely the untapped resource of my current reality. Every connection I have with another individual, I feel good about. Well, yeah, mostly. Not all of them. I don't feel bad about calling that one song Major Tom. Okay, apparently I do. Okay, I am one who will overwhelm people. Yeah, you got that right. Practicing that in 2023 again. Yeah, boo. Now that I can fall asleep at will, I'm unable to. I don't know why that sort of adrenaline rush of, oh my God, I can't wait till I can lie down and go to sleep, and then as soon as you can lie down, you can't fall asleep for like 3 hours. But I had some of that in February, and some of that in 2023 generally. So, pick another sheet and then take a break. How's that sound? Because we're down to, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5 total sheets? Look at this. I'm going to pause right here then. Pause. Unpause. Pause. Unpause. Pause. Okay, unpause. Sorry about that, but I have to submit my application to the joke writing workshop that is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. down at Rise Comedy Shop. And since it's 1:11 p.m., boom! Something tells me the universe wanted me to do that too. Okay, next page. My coworkers suck. Yep, that's that existential shit they put me through, but we've already been through that. The very nature of consciousness will forever vex my thoughts. Yep, yours too, I should hope. We can all mess that up. Oh, we can all mess shit up. Yep, we can. Which is why it's always good to be kind to us. Even your own time loss, even your own time loss are got it. Even your own timelines are flip-flopping along the way. Yes, you have to do the best you can at all times, even though your timelines may be getting screwed up. Carry on with the truest self you know how to be. And I promise that's the best path you can make. If this isn't me starting the phase of I'm saving the soul of humanity, I'll wonder what kind of devil douchebag I've been. Oh, right. So, if I don't actually start putting karma points into the bank that is saving the soul of humanity, I'm going to start wondering what kind of karma points I'm putting back into my own bank. Like, what kind of douchebag have I been throughout time and space? I can't fathom a world where we don't think animals are conscious creatures. No, I can't. Stuck on Earth for thousands of cycles. Okay. You can get stuck on Earth for 1,000 cycles at least. I don't know if you can get stuck here for thousands of cycles. If you get stuck in between calamities. And I know a couple of people who are stuck in those cycles. And I actually think I'm supposed to help them. We'll see if I'm able to. Before I get told, dude, enough with the texting. Yeah. Well, at the end of March, I predict something that came at the beginning of May. So I was 5 weeks off, I guess. Catastrophic incursions versus soul realignments. Okay, that's one of those things I should get back to. Forces that are out of our hands that were out of our hands years ago. Yeah, okay. Sometimes the forces that are out of our hands that are cycling back on us are forces recycling from years ago. And they are just going to cascade through your life like a tsunami. No trigger intended. But those are what nodes and cross nodes and karma and all this wheel of time is about. You'll start to see that in your own life, I would imagine, as I see it in mine now. I still have no trigger from Vermont or Wyoming to have downloaded, so I don't think anybody in Vermont or Wyoming is listening. But the rest of America, at least one person has made the mistake of downloading this recording episode. Whatever I'm willing to throw into the universe, I get back in gobs. Yes, I do. Next page. Look at this. 4 we go. Nothing do I work toward except being kind, understanding, and forgiving. Yes. We're all here to do what we're all here to do. That we are. I'm the luckiest motherfucker known lately. Yeah. Unlistenable if you're a snoring dog. Oh, yeah, because my dog never listens. If your favorite cat... Oh, no. Oh, if you're Frankie the cat, I don't know why you're here. Yeah, I don't. Okay, we can get through this one fast. In some way, we're all winners. Oh, no, in some ways we're all wounded. Wounded by each other. We say mean things to each other. That is talking about my family. Revisit the DNA code realignments. Or the DNA code alignments. Yeah, I need to revisit that. You're right. I think the energy you gain by winning, by truly graceful communication, and might be the healing force of the universe. Oh, I think the energy you gain by knowing, by truly graceful communication, might be the healing soul and force of the universe. Yes, I do. Funny how get on your side of the tent. Oh, yeah. Get on your side of the tent. Now get on your side of the tent. Yeah, that was funny. I have 5 missing left shoes. Yes, I do. I realize just exactly how much people who do this as their gift are needed. Yeah. I do describe somebody fairly well in that episode. Hey, random stranger, are you the one who's going to help me today? Says the guy who fell into my bathroom stall demanding a 911 call. I guess I am. 3 911 calls. That, my friends, is too many. All right. Lily's messages from the halfway house. Oh, Lily left me a message from the halfway house. Yes, she did. Am I a monkey? Maybe. Am I a monkey who should make other monkeys? Probably not. Proves to be true. There are ways that if you're just losing the game, you're probably not playing it correctly. That is true. Let's see. Okay. Start something of purpose to yourself and watch it all work out. That's true too. You're sitting on the couch thinking your purpose will find you. That doesn't work. That's true too. I speak a lot in this one of my fuck grades. Those are my forgiveness, understanding, and kindness grades, which as an acronym spells FUK. If you're having your entire structure of belief, if you reassess your entire structure of belief, admitting that to other people that you have now come to this structure of belief is challenging. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like to look at certain things. But once you've looked, character limits regarding titles, that's no longer irrelevant. Audio that's listenable, trying to create audio that's listenable. Yeah, I do try to create it, but sometimes I don't. Sorry about that. How many influences might we be under at any given time? I bring this up asking if my piano teacher is still an influence on me versus my 4th grade music teacher versus my senior college music class. It's hard to know what's influencing us at any given time. And since an influence can pop up out of the blue, well, does that mean that influence was just sitting there dormant waiting to occur? I don't know. Is our entire life one cascade of influence into this moment? Possibly. Am I making progress or full of shit? I'm both at all times. Yep. Look at that, though. Making progress because we're down to 2 sheets. Pause. Okay. Well, I was wrong. I have 3 pages left. So, all right, let's bust through this one because this one's probably the last one that I did. The job isn't that much work, but this it's a ton of work. This guy is a ton of work, yeah. Yeah, I think I left Home Depot now, I realized, for a lot of reasons. But one of them was definitely the guy I was working with, or working for, directly. Stop forcing yourself and your expectations into a situation and just let that situation develop. Well, I did a lot of that, and still found myself forcing myself right out the door. How much time do we really have for meaningful moments? How much time does life afford us for meaningful moments? Shouldn't that be limitless? It's a terrible question to have to ask, isn't it? It should be limitless. Well, it's not, because we got to all do what we got to do just to get through life and take care of the day's needs and whatever. Again, when I go to other planets, when I visit other spaces and realms, there's none of that limitation placed on life. Only here on planet Earth. 8675309. My own sense of potential from within has moved from tremendous to limitless. Yep, there's that. So I got that going for me, right? Good girl. Way to hawk a loogie. At least you had a good dog in your life. That's as important as good weed. Yep. Having a good dog in your life is as important as having good weed. Everything has taint. That is true too. Everything has taint. Turn me into a bat. Okay. When Christian and I are talking about that testimony being on the record, I speak as if it's in Congress's record. It's not. It's in a legal confession made to a district court by Dr. Munch about having turned into a bat from smoking cannabis. So it is on the record. It's just not on Congress's record. If you live your life by default, where do you end up? Nowhere by design. Okay. That actually might be the most profound thing I say in the entire 53 episodes. If you live your life by default, where do you end up? Well, nowhere by design. Okay. Working at Home Depot for minimum wage is as low a contribution to society as you can make. Well, probably. I'd pretend to fit in until I'd walk out with my middle finger in the air. Yep. I didn't walk out with my middle finger in the air this time, just my index finger. To superm, that was one of the misused words, but I quit keeping track of all those because I didn't find a lot of them. Talked into war? Fuck. No way will you talk me into war. Yep. Should I stick around just for the paycheck? Please, God, no. Please, please, no. I guess I don't want to work anywhere just for a paycheck. I'm a lot cooler with my parents than I am with the universe these days. Yeah, what the fuck, man? The cat box conversation, that part was unlistenable. What woman thinks it's right that we just abjectly poison all rats? Are there women who think that's right? I said there must be a few, but I don't even know if there are a few. We don't come into this world thinking that. Yep, I say a lot of times what we don't come into this world thinking, so sometimes I do think I do tell you what to think, or at least what you should be thinking. I've just proven to myself, this shit is real. Yeah, well, unfortunately, some of those moments are definitely still coming. The truth of the universe The truth of the universe boils down to how well we treat each other. Okay, that's true. It's like approaching an intersection where all three lights are active and wondering, what the fuck do I do? Sometimes being discombobulated in this universe is just like that. Yeah, that's why I got in the weed bone. What? Yeah, that's why I got in the weed one. Weed? I don't know. Weed pose? The 21st century is full of prima donnas. Well, wasn't the 20th century full of them too? I don't know that that's a 21st century phenomenon. I want Max and Phoebe there to decompress my life experience. Yes, I do. I'm announcing that again. Even though Phoebe's here now, I want her there then. I also want Max there. It can only happen if you let it. Alright, I do believe there's quite a bit of that going on in the universe. And it can only happen if you let it, so maybe we should stop letting it. My quirky ways and oh so un-Hollywood haircut. Well, I guess all of the above. We all have the easy roads that we don't know are easy because they were easy. But for other people, they are hurdles and roads. Yeah, sometimes it's funny that you think, well, yeah, but that's not hard. I just went right through that because for you, that wasn't hard. But for other people, that's the part that's the hardest. Just being able to have empathy requires you to be able to look outside of your own experiences, right? I will always be somewhat amateur about reputation management. Somewhat amateur. Shit, man. No Facebook, none of that shit. I'll always be totally amateur. 8-minute stare-offs at the corners, looking at the outlet, just thinking about something. Happens to me all the time. I've been exhausting myself because I've been helping people. That is true of 2023. I will say that has been fair. Welcome to the planet. We could use you. Yeah. This planet needs a whole lot more people of good intention. Apathy is sort of my generation's thing. That is something I need to get back to. Blanket support of Israel I am done with, at least as an American. That I probably should get back to. When was the last time I had pride in being an American? It's been a while. That's something I should get back to. I know what America is doing on the world stage right now is abominable. All right, let's face it, that's something I should get back to. But all of this is stuff that I know I'm right about. Anything could start the self-loathing train at any minute. Yeah, once you've been on the self-loathing train, you got to watch out for any derailment. And I've been right about that too. And I think 2023 has given me opportunities to jump right back on that derailment, but I won't. I just won't. There's absolutely no purpose. Self-loathing is nothing but a waste of energy. And honestly, that means that as I drop this piece of paper, whatever that purple thought is at the end is my last thought here, which says, a disinterested frame of mind gave my life all sorts of other meaning. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. So, and that's not disinterested, by finding an interested frame of mind, I gave my life all sorts of other meaning. So, I'm interested in being kind. I'm interested in being forgiving, and I'm interested in understanding. Those things I'm always interested in, with everybody, about everything, at all times. By finding that, and by acting that way, I sort of find myself in lots of other positions of being in positions to learn or experience things of value. Because by being kind, understanding, and forgiving, I have been a person who gets the universe from within. That idea of what you feel inside is what you manifest around you. Well, I seem to be living that. And in the small places where that has snagged and proven untenable, I'm not unmoored by the experience. I'm edified by the experience. I'm moved forward by the experience, and I'm gaining by the experience. So what does life really mean except to continually get better at what you're seeing, perceiving, and understanding in this 3D reality as it pertains to you living your life? Well, I look forward to the next section, whatever it may be named. But in finishing up this one, the iKudB.Rite section, well, my life does have all sorts of meaning right now. And since I said I would give you the 9 weeds that I mentioned that I thought had the most meaning, well, here you go. Lemon Kush, Alaskan Thunderfuck, Golden Goat, Silver Lemon Haze, Super Lemon Haze, sorry, Jack Herrera, Maui Wowie, Goji OG, Cine 99, and Bruce Banner. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to go get green with Bruce Banner. Happy end of the session to everybody, and thanks for sticking with this, because if you did, well, that's many over an hour commitments, and I've told you many times, stop listening, so you're the best.